Okay, let it go.
Here I am at the Quincy Steamboat Company. This is a gourmet cookware store where they offer cooking classes. This is called Quincy Steamboat because just a few blocks down the street is the Mississippi River, which is the direct connection between Quincy, Illinois and New Orleans, Louisiana, which is, of course, the world-renowned center of Cajun Creole dining. You sound like you've been cooking for a while.
About 15 years ago, I went from starvation cooking to a lady that owns Quincy Steamboat. She let me try to experiment, I guess, or expand my working knowledge. Anything with shrimp in it, alligator, chicken, pork, gumbo. With your apprenticeship, it's studying under a quote-unquote master of particular cuisine. You have strict rules about following those procedures out, the correct way to make a roux or your trinity. And then, well, the number one chef that comes to mind would be Paul Prudhomme. And I do have one of his cookbooks, Prudhomme Louisiana Kitchen. Extensive background, self-taught, self-apprenticeship. As you say, that word comes back again. And they didn't have to have a big boat. They had their little John boats and went out through the bayous and gator hunting and that type of thing. And it was no doubt that his assistant or his apprentice cooked up the main part of it and was served. And well, especially thinking of the beignets when you're cooking them like a deep fry and you need to skim that out.
So you would say these are all called spiders?
The four. And that skimmer.
Okay, let it go.
State your name.
To protect the innocent?
Yes.
Amy Stein.
And what city do you live in, Amy?
I live in New Orleans.
And where are you? What state?
Louisiana. Love Louisiana cooking. It's a way of life. Well, red beans and rice in New Orleans is it started when people did their wash on Mondays. And they needed something to put on the stove that didn't need a lot of tending to, so they start with a roux, as you do with everything else in New Orleans, and you add the trinity.
Are there any Cajun or Louisiana words that you just sort of spout off while you're eating?
A lot of people say, c'est si bon, that which is good. J'ai oublié le saucisson.
And one such as you, I would have to say you're, for lack of a better word, the old-timer, nothing to do with your age, but that would make me the newcomer. What advice would an old-timer give to a newcomer to enter this community of Louisiana cooking?
Well, actually what's helped me a lot in New Orleans is I have a ton of cookbooks, but actually I talk to people who grew up here. So by talking to people, you learn some of their tricks, such as that you want to soak your beans overnight.
What is Zatarain's? When you say Zatarain's, what do you mean?
Zatarain's is a local company that has a variety of products. When I first moved down here, the only thing they really had was Zatarain's fish fry, which is a very fine corn flour to fry your fish in. Mostly just, a lot of the cooking is definitely handed down generation to generation from the families. My older daughter, Rebecca, has started to cook recently. She's gotten away from prefab food and she's starting to do her own cooking, and she knows how to make jambalaya and she knows how to make red beans.
Okay, let it go.
Well, as you can see from my attire, I'm ready to do some Louisiana cooking. And today I'm going to work on some red beans and rice. Here we have the highlight of the party, the actual red beans. Boil for 2 minutes, after which I'm going to let them soak for 1 hour. I'm going to put the top back on here now, get them back to full boil, and let them soak. And in the meantime, that's probably a good time for a glass of red wine. So that's what we'll do right now. We're going to go with some green onions A green pepper. However, in New Orleans, this is called bell pepper. Using this large chef's knife to try and remove the outer edge. Now I have my choice of tools here. This is the large chef's knife, which you typically see chefs using, and they have all these nice motions that can do things with it. But since I'm no expert, I'm going to not go with the big knife for fear of cutting myself. I'm going to go with the smaller knife now. And we're going to do these cloves of garlic finely chopped. So here I go. Doing my best with that. I have my trinity of bell pepper and my onions and my nice chopped garlic here. So scrape this off. You hear the sizzle? Always a good sign. Time to add my soaked beans. Okay, I'll go ahead and add the beans in. I need to add the original juice in which my beans soaked. So I'll add that. Stir that in a little bit. Now, we can't forget we have, I'm not going to drop these. These are the ham hocks. Something they do down in New Orleans during the last half hour that makes this authentically a New Orleans red beans and rice dish. And we'll show you that as we get to it. It should be noted the beans we're cooking tonight are red beans. These are not kidney beans. And if we consider this concoction a community, then we might say that the beans are learning a new flavor from the ham hock. The ham hock, I would contend, would be a peripheral participant in this whole process. Just when I thought I had all the ingredients I needed for red beans and rice, well,
Mon Dieu, tu oublies le saucisse.
That's my expert telling me that I have forgotten the sausage. She's taking me through my zone of proximal development and taking me a notch higher, a phrase also used by Emerald in Louisiana cooking, and she's showing me how to saute my sausage, which we're going to add to our red beans and rice here in a moment. It's time for that step that I told you earlier. I'm going to go all the way around the pan. I'm crushing beans, softening them. I want to make a thicker, more savory sauce. Okay, what I've done now, first I put in the beans, and I put the rice in the middle. I added some sausage right here around it. Is it really the real thing? So let's get a little bit of beans, a little bit of rice, a little scallions. C'est bon. There you have it. Louisiana style red beans and rice. Try it sometime.